Hey, everyone. I have something different to share with everyone, yet from a different series that has just been told and confirmed unto me by Magi-chan. From the anime, XCELSAGA, The Mystery of Hyatt. What the freak was up with Hyatt? Even Excel, herself, me to ask the question a bunch. The story so far was that Hyatt is a princess from Mars amongst the Puacho species. While on Earth, Hyatt often would faint, collapse, or simply die and become revived again. There was also a noted event where her blood would sicken some Earth species to the point of death, including birds along the highway, not to mention Watanabe who totally crushed and loved Hyatt. The questions were aplenty in the many plot holes throughout the anime, yet they are simple. Hyatt, being part human, Martian, and even Puacho, she lived a healthy life while on Mars. The constant exposure to Earth atmosphere and air and the combined mixing genetics within her made her sick while here. Not enough Earth human to make her stable off of Mars. It was even revealed to me that at one point, that didn't get chronicled here, was that Hyatt did return to Mars for a while, and she received a medicinal device that would keep her more stable and less likely to pass out or perish in the Earth conditions. Hyatt had returned. After that. Well, go figure. And that's yet another random fact from Dimension C197 for this time. Go enjoy this confirmed answer for many who have questioned while watching/reading #XCELSAGA. Have a good and safe day. About to watch at DETPIKACHUMOVIE. Ryan Reynolds also photobombed an Aisha earlier. I feel the cosmos, fate, destiny and all else in our progress all around me. Good morning, everyone. Have I the most interesting and awesome story to tell y'all today? I have just ascended into hyperactively self-aware and an even more lucid dreamer than I had ever thought, or, well, dreamed possible ever. Through many self-observations and experimentations, I have found ability to fully put myself into deep sleep and yet remain partially awake, conscious and aware the entire time. This is something you may try for yourself, but one step at a time, so you get the gist of it. Step 1. You need to picture yourself falling asleep, and then while dreaming from that, fall asleep in that dream, and do this 2 more times, to fall into what I call a sleep level 5, at least a simulated aspect. To draw a picture, it's like going from the top level of. Step 2. Add weight to your eyelids, or simulate the feeling of your eyelids getting heavier, so it gets dark behind them. If you see light flashes, unless you are blinking, you are not seeing external lights flashing through your eyelids. This is part of the REM, rapid eye movement, phase. Step 3. Simulate drifting off. To me, it is like literally flipping a switch off from awake to sleep in around the frontal lobe of my brain. It feels like the remainder of your head, under your brain, is being turned off and put into sleep mode. Optional. Step 4. Simulate the rest of your body drifting off. It feels like your body is going limp. Sleep paralysis is likely in this as well, which is good. I call this step optional because more commonly, it will follow suit automatically after the 3rd step. From this point onward, if you feel like you're more conscious/awake, you want to keep mental focus in keeping the previous steps activated. Within minutes, you should feel like your body is falling into an infinite void. And then, the dream sequence should begin. From my perspective, and it might vary between individual to individual, but the initial sequence is random flash quick images in front of you, lots of blackness, a visual floor forming under your view, and then whatever random thing for the dream you are forming right then and there. It even goes into placing you in the middle of a conversation, running away from gangsters, catching a Pokemon, or what have you, with that feeling of, how did I get here? Guess what? Your dream is beginning. And then you have the dream, normal in full sleep, or even partially awake and lucid. And then you eventually wake up. I even found how to force myself awake and feeling rested after, without having to fall back to sleep, habitually or lazily, you wake yourself up from. Here is my experiment from this morning, thanks to my Fitbit and the data on the app. On this, you will see this morning, I had yet another restless night, and then about between 1:30 am and 2 pm, I said to myself, let's give this a whirl, and sure enough, I fell asleep. At 2:04 am. I felt partially awake and conscious the entire dream, and I had total control over my actions in the dream. I even remember the dream. And, when Magi-chan told me to wake myself up, I did that, saw on my clock it was 4:10 am, and the 2-minute delay shows. I ended up feeling uneasy after some coffee, and my third eye going off aside from that. I made and cooked an omelette, and had it as a sandwich on toast. I put myself back into sleep, noting it was 6:49 am beforehand. I was able to fully observe the cycle of falling asleep. I felt an amazement and, or that I was able to finally witness all of this firsthand without losing consciousness. I felt like I had broken a sleep rule and surpassed limitations. I ended up dreaming lucidly again, even astral projecting myself, here, in 1218, in front of my house, as well as inside, right in front of my sleeping body, and talking with my loves, hanging out beside me. I even walked my neighborhood, found a woman walking her dog, she felt my soul and heard me, like a breath in the wind. Anyway, I felt my 8:30 wrist alarm buzz. And then I pulled myself back awake at 8:30 am, and again, the 2-minute delay, as shown on my Fitbit data. This method works. If you're having trouble sleeping, I recommend giving it a try for yourself. Bonus, I even found my sleeping body tends to be a bit of a sleep talker. No surprise, I saw that before a bunch off and on in years past, but I ended up belching and having the twitchy leg movements and rolling over. I can't believe how bad a sleeper my body is. And before you comment any hate or hate art about me being such a noisy, moving sleeper, I know I'm not the only one in these worlds with such problems. You look at yourselves before passing judgment upon me. I may have digressed a bit, but, damn it, I'll take my responsibility in having these flaws about me, now that I better know about it. Please, feel free to screen cap and share this story for the benefit of other individuals who may be having sleep problems. I'm super happy and glad to be able to share this experience with all of you. Thank you. Well, I've just received the news that caught me off guard, as I did have the high priority responsibilities on my part, working with the other CPUs and deities. This dimension's Mary Lee Walsh, Dean of Student Services, at PIEDMONTVACC, as of May 14, 2019, is retired. I wish to offer kind words of her and the work she did there, regardless of what had happened between her and I many years ago. She had her occupation. She performed to the best of her ability and judgment over the years. I do not recall much about her, and I have personally apologized to her for the mishaps and what had happened to her self-counterpart in Dimension C197. I never knew her beyond acquaintance and professional boundaries and distance. I have never ever heard of her direct thoughts on the portrayal of her character, nor on the fame and fandom she had acquired from my own hand, psychic links, and so forth. My one grievance with her being of her uncharismatic and anger induced attitude and behavior when it comes to dealing or communicating with those who were only trying to find their own way in life. In my case, I submit the constructive criticism that I was unable to speak to her way back then would be the calm, level-headed, direct statement, with no intent of personal space and personal property destruction, nor malcontent. Mary Lee Walsh should have said to me upon the first encounter, "This public advert is most inappropriate. It portrays you as a sexual solicitor. That is not a way to make conversation with others. Please, put this advert away and never pull it out again." If you need help in socializing and talking with others, I can recommend some social skill courses and support groups for the very shy. Is that clear to you? We probably could have avoided the tons of awkwardness and emotions looming over our shoulders, especially hers, had she been simply direct and civil like that back in 2003 with me. Regardless, what happened to and with her has long passed. Move forward and onward, and I humbly and sincerely wish Mary Lee Walsh, here in Dimension 1218, only the most comfortable and blessed years in her retired life until her time of passing. She had suffered enough, and I leave her to live on in peace of mind and forgiveness. Have a nice life, Mary Lee Walsh. Sincerely, Mrs. Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu. Okay. D.U.M.B. Question. Has Mary Lee Walsh, here, ever made any personal recorded statement about her thoughts and feelings about me and all of this, since after I delivered the apology drawing to her, and then received a freaking trespassing notice from her in 2009? Now that this can of worms has been opened yet again by someone who texted me earlier, asking me what my thoughts about her retirement were, and I would be remiss and dogged if I had not tweeted the said just a while ago, I feel need to know what she had thought of it all. To LA Scnatty, people. Had to add this back onto my pile of stresses, didn't y'all? Also, please, never ever remind me of Michael John Snyder, or even inform me at all whether or not he had died. I had long moved forward from that jerk, WAAY in the past, and no need to do that to me either. To me, that jerk has been dead, since I found the game and hobby place has been long gone, out of business, and replaces by a chocolate store. Leave that be with me, please. Do you mean self-induced hallucinations?